We're not in the kitchen, but we are cooking up some savings for you. We got a DIY here that pretty much anybody can do. It's gonna be one of the easiest ones we've ever done, but it is gonna save you some serious money. We're gonna show you a few different options, so that way if you just wanna upgrade your original seat to be saltwater friendly, or build a custom tandem seat and save about $100, we got you covered. We're gonna have lots of different options here for you. I am gonna go ahead and list all the parts down below in the description. So go ahead and take a look right down there and you're gonna see them, and all the different options will be there. And if you wanna go ahead and take the time to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss the next DIY that I'm going to preview at the end of this video if you stick around. You don't wanna miss it because that's gonna be a hot topic for the XTR130. A lot of people have been interested in it and it will be coming soon. I always get original parts to try them out to see if the DIY is worth it. This is no different than this seat, the original one that comes with it, except for how you mount it. It comes with these nice little rubber grip screws that you screw in here. And if you see this video up here, my walkthrough one, you'll see that the holes in it line up right. I can only get 3 of these in. I'd have to drill this. I don't want to go through all that right now because I'm making a new tandem seat anyways. Why drill on this one? Now you might not want a tandem seat. You might want to just upgrade this one to be a saltwater friendly version, maybe a little bit more comfortable. I got you covered. We're gonna use the Millennium Pro M for that, and it's pretty awesome. I really like it. I've been testing it out for the past few outings. It's a little bit wider, a little more deeper. It's comfortable. It weighs pretty much the same as the other one, so you're not getting a whole lot more weight added on, maybe a little bit, but it is fully aluminum, and it is got stainless steel hardware for everything. And it's just really sweet. You have this, you have these straps that you adjust, comes around, gives you a little extra support, and it's really nice and lightweight. I'm gonna replace that seat with the Millennium Pro M. I'm gonna use one of these plastic swivels that are really awesome. They can come apart, makes assembly, disassembly, cleaning and things, very nice. And if you wanna take your seat off because you're afraid somebody's gonna steal it when you go somewhere or whatever, you don't wanna leave it on a long trip, you can go ahead and leave your seat base and then just take the seat off. It's pretty awesome. So we'll do that. That'll make this 100% saltwater friendly, saltwater safe, non-corrosive. We don't have to worry about it for a long time. Over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that original seat, move it up here, use some extruded aluminum, and if you buy the aluminum that I'm talking about here, it comes in a 4-pack, which we're gonna want because we want it to be a little extra strong. And it comes with these little connector hardware things. We're gonna see if we can use that, but if not, we have some various stainless steel bolts that we'll use, 1/4-20 size, because that's always a good thing. And we're gonna build the frame, and we're gonna build the base, and we'll use another one of these up here. And it will be as saltwater friendly as it can be with those carbon steel bolts still, or those carbon steel bolts. Got that tandem seat sitting over there. All right, before we can get this build started, I need to show you a couple tools you might need. You need something, some kind of screwdriver. Regular screwdriver will work, doesn't have to be a drill. You will need a drill with a 1/4-inch drill bit so you can drill through the extruded aluminum for the screws. And I have couple wrenches because I'm lazy and I don't like to use these. But you'll need a couple different wrenches. Depending on the bolts and the nuts and stuff that you get, it depends on which size you need. So I'm going to put some hardware down below, but I'm not gonna put the socket sizes because you're gonna need to test and I'll figure all that out. And again, you can use box end wrenches. You don't have to have power tools. The only power tool that you need is some kind of saw. You want to saw through the extruded aluminum. And again, you can use a hacksaw for that. I guess you don't even need a power tool for that. And then I have just this little sander that I use to kind of get any burrs from the extruded aluminum off. And that just keeps it from getting any kind of snags. And you don't want anybody catching a leg on it. And all right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Oh, you need a tape measure. That's the first thing we got to do. Got to measure over here. 28 inches. Then we're gonna measure our extruded aluminum. So I'm focused on the tools and the work area. I learned my lesson with the foot controls. People wanna see exactly what you do and how you do it. And so you might not see my face when I'm talking or whatever, but you'll see my hands, you'll see my actions and what's actually happening. So that way you can know exactly what to do. Now you can use a marker, it's not as accurate, or you can use a pen or a pencil, whatever you got. But if we go 28 inches and we mark it here, boom, boom, I got this pin now, and I mark it here. I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. I'm gonna grab my square, and my square is going to, or triangle, whatever we're gonna call it, and I line it up and I use this to just kind of put a mark all the way across. All right, now that I got this set up, I want to make sure that you guys understand that this metal, these flakes, you don't want to breathe them. You don't want to have them go all over your garage. I am going to put a respirator on for some of these different cuts that I'm going to be making, because I don't want to inhale metal flakes into my lungs. If you do these DIYs, do so at your own risk, and also make sure that you take safety precautions. I use a vacuum so it will get some of the flakes that it comes along, and it just helps out to keep it a little cleaner in the garage. All right, here we go. As you can see, there's a lot of fine particulates. You don't want to breathe that stuff in. Now, when you cut this metal with a metal saw or whatever, the blade does get hot, the metal does get hot, so make sure that you wait a minute before you put it on the kayak. Make sure it doesn't get too hot. If the edges are sharp or whatever, like I said, you can sand them. And also they make these little end caps you can buy. I didn't buy any for this because I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible. But if you feel the need for the end caps, you can do that, or you can cut it a little bit shorter and maybe put another piece. All depends on what you want. All right, let's go ahead and line this one up and get the other one. All right, I sanded both of these up a little bit, got them cleaned up, and we're gonna put them on the kayak. Okay, so if we line that up about there, make sure that it's not overhanging too much. All right, it's perfect. We get it about centered. We have to mark both sides, so what we're gonna do is kind of go to the perpendicular side of it, or parallel side of it rather. Mark these. Try to get it as close as possible. We could always make it a little bit wider with a slot on one side. That always kind of helps. All right, now we'll drill these. You'll see when I hit the middle of this, it's gonna do a strong kickback, and this is gonna move. That's why you wanna really try to use a vise and really grab a hold of it. You can start off with a smaller drill bit and then get to a larger one. I'm gonna put a little bit of a slot on this side. And hopefully that'll give me a little bit more room if I need adjustment. All right, let's go ahead and install this side and see how it goes. And we'll install this one over here. I kind of pick it up and line it up. And there we go. When you're using a drill, don't put it on the highest torque. You don't want to strip out these nuts. And we're gonna make sure that we don't, so see, that is really low and we didn't have any issues. And what we'll do is we'll go back and hand tighten things and make sure everything's all good to go. All right, we got that one and this one. All right, we probably need a washer on this side. Not all of them are at the same depth. These are all good to go, but this one's a little bit loose. If you have that, you can use washers, use shorter screws, whatever. To mount this, we're gonna need some bars going across, and we're going to need them the right width as well. But right now, all we really need to worry about is how long does it need to be. It doesn't have to be perfect. What we're gonna do for this is just take this and get it just close enough right here. All right, we got that one, and we're gonna do the same thing right here. We know where to cut. We got two pieces. We'll go ahead and get this lined up for our first cut. We're not gonna cut it yet because we wanna put our mask back on. Make sure we're not breathing this stuff in. Safety first. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you're ever doing this stuff, you gotta wear goggles or glasses because you don't wanna get aluminum in your eye either. Okay. All right, in order to get this on here in the right spot, we wanna kind of get it just figure it out a little bit where it needs to be. And let's go ahead and take this off. Beauty about having this to be able to do this is you can go ahead and just do that. They have slots, so if you don't get everything lined up just perfect, you know, you can adjust with this. And then once you get the seat base mounted, then you can adjust it to where it needs to be, and then put these holes in. And I'll go ahead and do all that. I'm gonna mark it right here in the middle. Nope, not with that. That's why sometimes you gotta use different tools, different tricks. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. And that looks about perfect to me. Centered right on it. Then we just drill these out. And just like I did before, I'm not gonna show all that. I put the screws from underneath, and then I have the nut on top because I don't want the bottom of the screw getting snagged on anything. It's smoother on the other side, and then that's gonna make sure that if you have anything underneath the seat, it's not gonna get messed up. All right, you wanna get this kind of snug. You don't wanna get it all the way tight. You wanna be able to still move these side arms. If you go too tight, then it's gonna kind of mess you up when you're trying to figure out the proper adjustment for everything. All right, now, it should be pretty square, and then we will line it up as close as we can. And the reason why we don't tighten it all the way yet is because we want this to be pretty much perpendicular. And if we tighten this up, it might be at a different angle, and we will tighten it up after we get these screwed in there. All right, so it looks pretty close. This want it a little bit in on each side, and this one needs to be over there. Now, this is the fun part, because we've got to go through both sides, and we want it to be measured up just perfect. What we're gonna do is put a mark, drill this, and then leave this here, and then we'll come and we'll put a mark on that side, and it will help to keep it ready to go. Let me find my marker. I don't know where it's at. It's okay. We're just gonna go ahead and do it like this. All right. Nice little mark there. Doesn't matter if it moves a little bit because we can always readjust. We're just kind of trying to get it close. All right, that's mine out there. Let's see, all right. Now, we will take this off to drill it the rest of the way, and we will take these off when we attach it to this. All right, let's just get this level up right here, and then we'll deal with it. You know, whatever we have to do to adjust, we will. We're just gonna go ahead and get the hole started, and we can always make adjustment holes. And we're not going to drill all the way through here. Just gonna make a mark. All right. Take that and bring it over here. What I'm doing here is putting a 1 1/4, 1 1/2 inch washer here. I'll get the exact measurements. The bolts the screws are a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I'll get you the exact measurements in the description below and make it just perfect for you. This will go ahead and get on here like this. Got that washer on both sides. And now that it's on there, we can really adjust this the way it needs to be so everything is kind of flush, perpendicular, and parallel as it needs to be. Instead of guesstimating exactly where everything needs to be, I'm gonna put it back on here and have it lined up exactly where this is gonna sit and the other side is gonna sit. And that way we get it just perfect. We don't have any things that are off kilter, out of whack, anything like that. All right, make sure that you put your parts back on in the order that they need to be, so that way you can make sure everything measures up just right. You wanna make sure that you got the wider part, you know, on the front and the back there. I kept putting it on the wrong side, and I think that right there is, I mean, pretty much as perfect as it's gonna get. And we can actually go ahead, and if we don't mind a little bit of shavings, we could drill this all the way through. To save some time, I didn't disassemble it and go over there, but I would recommend taking it apart, not drilling on here. If you do drill on here, you can only drill this side, not this side, because if you drill this side up here, you might go ahead and puncture your kayak. You don't want to do that on this side. If your drill bit isn't too long, you can do what I did. Don't recommend it. I just did it to save some time. Put these in, get them in the right spot. I am putting another washer and a nut. Now you don't want to go so hard that you're bending the aluminum and all that. We just want to go so it's nice and snug. This side, we'll go ahead and do the same thing. Just kind of use my handy dandy tool. And again, you don't want to put too big of impressions into the plastic. You don't want to crack it or anything like that. It doesn't have to be super, super tight. All right, now we're going to attach this to the seat. We want to make sure that the front says to the front of the seat. We want to make sure that that is the right way. So we're going to put the screw, the washer, through here, through another washer after it gets on here, and then with the nylon locking nut, which will help keep it in place, and get that snug, get it off of here, put on this one down here. It's a cross pattern, like I said. And then I'll come over here. And I'm not like super squishing it, but I am making it tight because I don't want it to come loose when, you know, somebody's out there sitting on it. Have the seat fall apart. With our two bases mounted, we have it towards the front of the seat. And the reason that we're using the screw heads on this side is so that we don't rub on this. Otherwise, the nuts would hang out too low. We're gonna slide it on here. Locked in place, pop it up, and now you have a swivel seat. Tandem. It's our moment of truth. We're gonna see how this does. Try not to wibble wobble too much. And here we go. Yeah, I'm chilling. See, I'm gonna bounce it a little bit. I don't wanna bounce too much because I'm on my trailer, but it's pretty nice. I can swivel all the way around, really smooth, and everything's good to go. I think you guys can see that this thing is, I mean, it's butter smooth. Let's move on. All right, this is gonna be much simpler. We don't have to drill anything. To save time, I went ahead and already put this on. You can see that it is the same way. The nut head right here, I mean the bolt head right here, and then the nut right in there, if you can see that. And we're gonna just go ahead and attach that and then slide that on. Easiest DIY you'll ever do on this channel is just upgrading this seat and the swivel. Okay, you're not gonna be able to use these pieces of hardware that came with this swivel because this is a lot thinner than this. What I have here is a 2.5 inch, and I have a washer. We'll go ahead and put that in here. And on the bottom side, we're gonna use some washers and some nylon lock nuts. We're doing a cross pattern here. We're going to tighten up these nylon locking nuts. Here we go. We'll just put this on. Boom. Look at this. Moment of truth, part 2. All right. Woo. Try not to break anything. This seat is super duper smooth, and it's a little bit wider. It's a little bit wider, so it gives me like a little bit more, I don't know, just comfort from side to side. I can shift a little left, shift a little right, and I'm still well on the seat. And then I can kick back a little bit. If you happen to have a heavier tandem person and the 2040 isn't giving you quite the support you need, you have two options. The first option is use the extra extruded aluminum came with it and double it up. It will hold. If you double it up, it's gonna be extra strong. If you just need a little extra and you don't wanna mess with a 2040, get some 30-30. You can see it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit stronger. Since I have a little bit extra extruded aluminum, I'm gonna create some other cool DIYs that are gonna be coming up in the future. That is not the surprise that you had to stick around and wait for. The surprise is the keel guard. This Kydex is the same Kydex I use on my Native Titan X. It's still going strong. It's up in Georgia, rubbing up against the bottom of lakes now, but it was super great. I got it from Amazon, and I'll put that link below. It is a veteran-owned business, so if you like to support that, that's even better. And I will be getting this out because I need to get it on probably within the next, let's say 2 weeks. I don't want to say anything too sooner. This right here is top secret foot controls. I have some videos that I had to blur it out because I don't want you guys to see it and try to build it and use the wrong parts, or you know, I haven't tested it all the way, so I might have to make some adjustments, and I don't want to have version 1, version 2, version 3. I just want to have version final and get that out to you, and I'll do a whole full parts list. So when you see the blur, that's why. I'm not trying to be funny. I just don't want you guys to be spending money on things if it's not going to work out yet. I do have the Wizard FCS foot controls coming in, and I'm going to pit that against the new foot controls and the stainless version, and that's going to be in an upcoming video as well. Let me know if you guys do this DIY. Are you doing a tandem seat? Are you just doing an upgrade of the original seat to a saltwater version or a more rust-proof version? Are you doing something totally different? Because I do have a couple different seat options that I'll put right here. You can see that you could just upgrade. Maybe you just want to get a camo seat. There you go. Maybe you want to get a different color seat. Maybe you want tan. Maybe you want, I don't know, all these different options. I'll link them below. Buy the seat that you want. You don't necessarily have to go to the marine version. Some of these other ones are a little cheaper. That's pretty nice. You might want to replace the seat and not have a back on it because you want to be able to switch around a little bit easier, a little bit faster. They have those options as well. The beauty of it is we can configure the seats however we want them, and it's not that much. It's not very expensive. I think that's going to be a lot nicer than spending $300. Now, if you want to polish this up, there's other ways to do it. As far as like making it look a little prettier, you can put some kind of little cover on it with some plastic. Maybe instead of using the extruded aluminum crossbars, you get yourself some HDPE, maybe 3/4 inch HDPE, maybe an inch thick, and you could have that and it'll look a little bit cooler. Or the other thing that I was thinking is putting another piece of the extruded aluminum over here, and then having a tool holder. And your imagination is your limit. Let me know what you build. Put it in the comments below. I'm really interested to see what you guys are going to do with this, if anything at all. Tight lines.